Hello, today I'm going to be taking you through a nice short relaxation session. It's going to be a nice, easy, flowing session. All you'll need is a head cushion or a thick pillow as well for when we do our arm openings. So I'm going to get you started into standing, and first of all I want you to just think about your posture and just bring your awareness to how your body's feeling, if there's any tension anywhere. And so making sure toes are pointing forwards, so you have your weight between the front and the back of your feet as if you're making a tripod between big toe, little toe and heel. And then you're going to lock the knees out and then release them. So they're straight but they're nice and soft, so you've relaxed your thighs. Now we'll go through some pelvic tilts. So with your pelvis, imagine it's a bucket of water, tipping the water out through the front of the bucket and then out through the back of the bucket, just rotating forwards and backwards here with our bucket. And then find that nice mid position where you feel your bucket's nice and level. Keeping that position, making sure the knees are still soft. You're going to lift your chest up as high as you can. Keep the chest lifted, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just allow your rib cage to soften down as if you're getting your ribs just to disappear into the abdomen, but keeping the collarbones open and smiling to the front. Now we'll go for a few shoulder rolls, so just rolling up towards your ears and back and round. And then just letting your shoulder blades just glide around the ribs. So imagine that your shoulder blades are like little suction cups on your rib cage, and I want you to just draw nice big circles over the rib cage here, and then let your shoulder blades just relax down nice and heavy, and then feeling all the hairs in the back of the neck as if they're stood up. We're going to feel this length drawing in through the abs, up through the crown of the head, but staying soft still in our knees. And now we'll go into your roll down. So bringing your chin to your chest, tuck the chin in, stretch the back of the neck, and then continue one vertebra at a time to roll down towards the floor. Imagine with your spine it's dinosaur spikes. You're opening out each individual spike. Let the arms just really dangle underneath the shoulders, so the arms are just going nice and heavy. You're like a rag doll. Release all the way down. Go as far as you feel you comfortably can. Take a deep breath in at the bottom, and then as you breathe out, just allow yourself to get a little bit heavier. Check there's no tension into the neck. Make sure the arms are still dangling, shoulder blades are heavy. From here we'll go into pendulum swings, so I'm going to let you to just swivel your hips left and right. Imagine you've got a little cat's tail, or you're just going to sway your tail from left to right, and the body will just follow, or just go along for the ride here. And then bring it back into the middle, and then slowly we will curl back up, so tucking tailbone under, rolling all the way back with the pelvis. Keep the spine nice and curly. Once the pelvis comes back, then just restack one vertebra at a time on top. And then again, just a couple of shoulder rolls. So rolling the shoulders round, let the shoulder blades drop heavy. Bring the chin to the chest, feel the stretch down the back of the neck. Continue to roll all the way through. So one vertebra at a time, opening out every segment. You're hollowing your abdominals to stretch into the lower back. You go nice and floppy like a rag doll, especially with the upper back and the neck. And then into pendulum swings around to the sides. And as you do this, you should just feel a little bit more of a stretch through one waist, and maybe a little bit down the side of the back of the leg, rather than just centrally. And then bring it back into the middle. Deep breath in and out again, breathe out, go a little bit heavier. Check your knees are still soft. And then when you're ready, unraveling, squeezing the bottom muscles, rolling the tailbone back, keeping the spine curly. And then once the tailbone comes back and the pelvis is in neutral, you'll just feel how easy it is just to restack one vertebra at a time on top. Again, a couple of shoulder rolls here, and then coming back into your roll down. So lengthening the back of the spine, opening out every segment. Feel an easy stretch. You might be able to go a little bit lower now, it's your third one. Take a breath in and out, go a little bit heavier, and then back into pendulum swings. Just nice and easy, nice and flowing here. And then coming back into the middle, rolling it back through one vertebra at a time from the pelvis. So leading from the hips as always, and then restacking all the way on top. Now I'm going to take you to the end of your mat, because we'll walk it out to a hands and knees position for the next one. So one more roll down here, and then once you're all the way down to the bottom on this one, I'm going to get you to bring your hands down onto the mat. So if you need to bend your knees to do so, then do. Otherwise, keep your legs straight, bring the hands down, and then we'll walk it straight out to hands and knees. So wrists want to go underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. When you're ready, you're going to go up into our angry cat, as I call it. So tucking tailbone under, rounding up through the back. Imagine you're spiking out your fur here. Lift the belly button into the spine, squeeze the inner thighs gently and squeeze the bottom to tuck the tailbone that little bit more so you feel the stretch into the lower back. Then release the tailbone, allow the belly button to relax towards the floor, send your tail up towards the sky, and then slowly start to lift the chest away from the floor. Imagine there's a hot candle lit between your hands. You're going to push up away from the heat of the flame. Tuck the chin in, lengthen the back of the neck, but push up as high as possible. Then when you're ready from there, going back into your angry cat, so tucking the tailbone under, rounding all the way through, getting that length through every segment here. Squeeze the bottom, squeeze the inner thighs gently, and then release. Roll back the opposite way. Lift the chest, but keep the neck long. So you're still tucking the chin in. You feel like you're opening out all the vertebrae on the back of your neck here. And where I want you to feel the stretch in the happy cat is in the upper back. So between sort of shoulder blades really. Get that push up away. Pull the shoulders away from your ears. And then back through into your angry cat again. So we'll go 2 more in each direction. Take your time, hold the stretch, feel the position, see how much stretch you can get out of it. And then releasing, rolling back through to happy cat, opening the upper back and the chest. Pull the shoulder blades away from the ears, lengthen the neck, lift from the floor. And then come back through. So last one each direction here. So back into our angry cat. We're spiking our fur out as much as we can. And then releasing back through to happy cat, where we're opening our back, stretching, a bit like the yawn stretch a cat would do. And then coming into a neutral position. Now from here, so I'm going to get you just to think about having a little bit of happy cat in the upper back, so you lift up the chest, and a little bit of angry cat in the lower back, so you lift up the abs. We're just going to take it into a Superman next. So you're going to slide the opposite arm and leg away, and then lift them as high as you can, making sure you don't lose that back position. Slowly bring it back into your midline and change through. So opposite arm and leg stretch across the mat first. You're keeping the chest and the abs lifted as you lift the arm and the leg. This is where we're going to be working through our posterior oblique sling, which is basically shoulder on the lifting side and the opposite glute. So I want you to feel the connection between those muscles. Now at the same time, we're working through our primary core muscles in Pilates. So you're thinking about stabilizing so there's no shift left and right with the hips as we change legs, and that we don't drop our belly button as we lift the arm and the leg. So I want you to work and see how high you can take the opposite arm and leg, but without the belly button dropping down towards the mat. So you're really hollowing up as much as possible here. Check you've not lost that good upper back position. So we're still lifting the chest, we're still opening through, so we're not rounding here. Sliding away with the opposite arm and leg. Breathe into it. Just reaching away, feel a length from the fingertips right through to the toes. We're going to take it just for 1 more now on each side. And then release. You can push back into a quick child's pose, so knees nice and wide. Bottom back towards the heels, and then just drop the forehead down and feel a nice stretch here. Just release the upper back as much as you can. And then coming all the way back through, all around all the way up. We're now going to go down onto your tummy and work into a little bit of our swan pose. So I'm going to use just a flat head cushion here, but if you've got a folded towel or anything at home, that's perfect. Drop yourself down onto your tummy. You're going to rest your forehead down into your cushion. And from here then I'm going to get you to think about taking your arms into a W shape. So hands will be about shoulder height, they'll go wider than the mat, and then the elbows will drop into the mat here. Lengthen the toes away, point the legs away, and then we're going to hollow the abdominals. So we're going to push your pubic bone down as if you're tucking your tailbone between your legs. Hollow and lift the belly button away from the mat and feel a connection between what I call your imaginary springs from rib to hips. You feel that connection there. Then when you're ready, you can tuck the chin in, feel a stretch through the back of the neck, and then slowly float the weight of the forehead just off your towel or cushion here. You're keeping the eye line and the nose pointing down. You've got that tuck of the chin still, but you're floating up as high as you can, keeping the chest down onto the mat. And then slowly lower and release. So you've tucked the chin in, you've lengthened the back of the neck, you float the forehead up, keeping the eye line looking down. The length, it's like you're trying to open out all the vertebrae segments on the back of your neck here. And then slowly release it back down. As you lift the weight of the head up, you should feel how your abdominals have to engage to stop you from dropping your belly button down into the mat. So we're working our core really hard actually in this exercise. And then arms want to be heavy, you want to be relaxed, you're not pushing into the arms at this point with this movement here. So we're just working on those upper back postural muscles. So from the back of your, pretty much the base of your skull and your ears, all the way down to between the shoulder blades, you should feel these muscles working to lift up, and then the abdominals should be working to stop the lower back working here. So we're going to go for one more, and then after this one we're going to take it up just that little bit higher. So we'll now press our hands down into the mat as if we're pushing the hands forwards and pulling the shoulder blades away from the ears that little bit more. Tuck the chin, float the head up, and then continue pushing into the hands to lift the upper chest off the floor. We're still tightening our abdominals, trying not to dip our lower back down, and we're lifting and opening the chest as much as possible. You keep the neck nice and long, so we haven't pulled the nose forwards and up. We've kept the nose looking down, but we're lifting, and then slowly release all the way. And then we'll try just a couple more here, just really working into our upper back posture as much as possible. Last one. And then we'll release. Okay, you can push back once more into a child's pose just to relax the upper back. So rest your forehead down, drop the arms nice and heavy, and then relax all the back and the abdominal muscles here. Go really heavy just to take any tension away. And then coming all the way back through, I'm going to roll down onto my back next to go into some bridges and then some hip circles. So I prefer to use the small head cushion, but it depends what you feel like. If you feel any strain on your neck, you can go without a head cushion for this one here. So when you're ready, palms are going to be facing up, arms nice and heavy into your mat. You'll walk your feet a little bit closer towards your bottom, and ankles, knees and hips are in alignment as if they're on little tram tracks. From here, you're going to do a little tailbone tuck. You're going to flatten your back, and then you're going to pull the pubic bone up towards the ceiling, rolling one vertebra at a time all the way through into your bridge. And then just let your ribs feel nice and heavy so they don't flare up to the ceiling. So we tuck the ribs into our pants, so we're sliding our rib cage down to disappear into the abdomen, and then we're tucking the tailbone and pulling pubic bone up towards the belly button here. So that's your top position. Then when you're ready, very slowly, one vertebra at a time, lengthening out, tucking under, we'll roll it back down towards the mat. So in your own time, going up and down. And I want you to feel that stretch as you release all the way back down, really tucking tailbone, lengthen the lower back. And then you can relax when you get to the bottom and hit your neutral. So just rolling up and down, taking your time. Push the feet down, like you're pushing the floor down away from you, squeezing into the heels. That'll help get a little bit more glute engagement. The aim with the bridge is that you use your glutes and your hamstrings and a little bit of abdominals. You shouldn't be too hip flexor dominant. So if you are, think of really driving down into the heels as much as you can. And we'll take it up just for one more. all the way. And then we'll take it into a nice flat back position. So you'll imprint your spine, you'll keep it bone up to navel. You'll slide one leg straight out across the mat, still trying to keep your flat back, so you've got a little bit of a core engagement going on with this one. Float the other leg up into either single tabletop position for level 1, or if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, up into a straight leg position. Arms are going to be down again with palms facing up. We're going to go into hip circles. I want you to draw nice big circles, keeping the pelvis nice and level, so you're making sure that you don't tip your hips left and right as you circle the leg. Core stays engaged. We're trying to flatten our back into the mat. We're still pushing down into the leg across the floor. And then each time you draw a circle, I want you to just see if you can take them just a little bit bigger. Think of making a spiral shape here. You can be drawing the circles with your knee if you're staying in single tabletop position. And then we're going to change direction and go the other way. Focus on the core. Check that you're not putting too much pressure into your arms and shoulders. So I want you to feel that it's coming more from your obliques and core engagement. Glutes will be working as well, especially on that leg that's straight across the mat. You want to feel the back of the leg engaging. Last one. And then release, back down. Now we'll change legs. So slide the other leg straight out, push it away, flatten the back, feel the tension in the back of the leg and the core. Float the other leg up, staying either in single tabletop or straight leg version. And then when you're ready, out to the side, swoop the leg down, bring it through. Check your shoulders stay nice and still, and your pelvis stays nice and still. So you're working on this lovely core stability here. We're getting a little bit of mobility for the hip socket, a little bit of stretch through the leg, and lots of stabilization. See if we can go just that tiny bit bigger now for the last two. Take it as far as you can. And then we're going to change direction. Take it the other way. Reach through the toes. Make the legs longer. You've got 3 more. You might feel a difference between sides on this. One leg might feel heavier than the other. Focus on the core. Last one. And then release back down. Now we're going to add it in with your bridges. So you'll walk your heels back up towards you. When you're ready, you're going to roll up into your spine curl, coming all the way through. Hands can rest onto hips. If you want the challenge, you'll take the elbows up. From there, you're going to float one leg up to a single tabletop position. Again, you can choose tabletop or straight leg. Now these circles are going to be much smaller. We're now going to paint little tiny circles on the ceiling above us. Still tucking the tailbone, lifting through the hips, hollowing through the abs. Go for a couple more circles. Okay, everything nice and sturdy, and then change direction, go the other way. You'll notice these circles are a lot smaller, but I'm really grounding down into this stationary side, so I'm making sure that my hips aren't tipping. Everything stays nice and level here. Last one. Fold the leg, lower back down, and then lower all the way before we bridge up to the other side. So when you're ready, reset, roll all the way back through. Pubic bone going as high as possible, belly button down. When you're ready, flip leg up to single tabletop, either staying in tabletop or straight leg, and then painting those little circles. You'll feel the accentuation here with this stationary leg, with which side was your easier or your harder one. So you will notice the difference between sides as you do this. Couple more circles, keeping everything nice and still, making sure the knee doesn't wander away. Change direction, keep the legs straight, reach up to the ceiling. You're squeezing down into the floor, lifting through the glutes, hollowing through the abs as you do this. 2 more circles. And then fold the leg and lower all the way back down. Right, I'm going to get you to roll to your side next. We're going to go into some arm openings. So coming all the way through, this is where you'll need your thick cushion, or if you've got a pillow. And then coming to the side, so I want you to just rest your head down onto the cushion, but making sure it's on the front of it so we can roll back. Hands are going to stack on top of each other, and then you'll bend your knees forward so at hip height, and we squeeze the legs together gently here so you keep the pelvis nice and still. When you're ready from here, we're going to slowly slide our top arm across the bottom arm, rolling back, twisting our spine as much as we can. And then reach the arm away as far as we can into this nice big opening. Your aim is to make sure the shoulder goes down to the mat before the hand. So you never let your hand go too low. It's all about rotating the spine, twisting, pulling the shoulder into the floor. And then we restack all the way back to our start position. So when you're ready, rotate the spine, pull the shoulder blade down into the mat. Reach the arm over, open as far as we can, keeping the shoulders squeezing down to the mat. And then slowly bring it all the way back through to our start. We'll go for 2 more, yeah? Nice big arm opening away. And we have 1 more. And then release, and now we'll change to the other side. So swapping yourself over. And then making sure your head's on the front of the cushion, so if you need to slide it back, then do. And then when you're ready, bring the knees up, squeezing the legs together, and then slowly rotating with the upper body, opening out as far as we can. Dropping the shoulder down, breathing into the stretch, keep those hips stacked, and then bringing it all the way back through to your start position. Big open away. So we have 2 more on this side. Take your time, enjoy the stretch. You might feel it in a different place on each side. And then last one here. Coming all the way back through. And then we're going to take it back to your hands and knees position next. So you're going to roll all the way over and then coming up into high kneeling for a hip flexor release. So from here, I'm going to get you to take one leg out in front of you. You're going to think about your pelvic position. So your hips want to be over the top of your stationary, so you don't want to be too far in front at this point. You're going to have a nice 90-degree bend at this front knee, and then what I want you to think about is tucking tailbone as much as you can. So pull pubic bone up to belly button, tighten the abs up, and squeeze the bottom. You should feel already a little bit of a stretch down that hip flexor. Then when you're ready, keeping the tailbone tucked, so think your bucket of water that we did at the beginning, we tip it out the back. Push the hips forwards, keeping the bucket tipped in that direction. So we're always squeezing bottom and tummy as much as we can. Then when you're ready, using the same arm as the stretch side, so here is my right hip flexor, so my right arm, you're going to take it up, reach up to the ceiling as high as you can, and then fold over to the side into a nice big open, almost like a mermaid stretch here. And then coming all the way back through, and then releasing and changing legs. So we're going to swap over with our kneeling leg now. So making sure you've got that nice 90-degree bend on this front knee. We'll tuck the tailbone as much as we can. Feel the stretch through the hip flexor. And then when you're ready, take the same arm up, reach up to the ceiling, and then fold over to the side. You're going to push the hips forwards, keeping the bucket of water tipped out the back. So squeezing tummy and bottom as much as we can. And then release, coming all the way back. And now we're going to step our back leg to the front with our front leg. So bring the hands down to the mat, step the back foot in. And then from here, we're going to go back through your roll downs. So we'll do your pendulum swings to begin with. So just going nice and floppy and relaxing through the back, just rotating to the sides, getting a nice easy stretch. And then come back to center. Hold it here. You may feel you've gone a little bit lower now. Take a deep breath in and out. As you breathe out, just drop that little bit more. And then when you're ready, squeeze the bottom muscles, tuck the tailbone under, roll the pelvis back, bringing the pelvis back first, and then feeling the rest of the spine, restacking nice and tall. Okay, we're going to go for one more now. So shoulder rolls round, and then bring your chin to your chest, stretch your neck, slowly one vertebra at a time, rolling all the way through. Check you've got straight legs, but you've not locked the knees, they're nice and soft. Go nice and floppy through the body. Keep the weight centered into your feet, back into pendulum swings around to the sides. Feel the stretch through the waist. And then coming back to the middle, take another moment here, breathe in and out. As you breathe out, just go heavier with the body. And then when you're ready, squeeze the bottom muscles, tuck the tailbone under, roll the pelvis back. Once the pelvis comes all the way back, then restack one vertebra at a time. And then I want you to think about resetting through your posture now. So toes pointing forwards, hip distance apart. Make sure your weight's equal between big toe, little toe and heel. You've locked the knees, but then you've released them so they're nice and soft. And we'll do a couple of pelvic tilts forwards and backwards. And then find that mid position. Lift the chest up, drop the ribs in, feel that lovely length through the upper back. And then just relax through your shoulder blades. So a couple of shoulder rolls around, let them go nice and heavy. And then feel all the hairs on the back of your neck just standing up, feeling that length. It's like you're being pulled up through the crown of your head. You're drawn in through the waist and you're grounded through your feet. And just take a moment to feel what this posture feels like. And I want to see if you can keep this until I see you next online. Well done.